Well, Brendan, I want to welcome you back in here for our chat and Celtics. We have lots to chat about tonight as the Celtics take a game one Eastern Conference Finals victory in overtime, win by a final score of 133 to 128. That was definitely a tough one, I must say. But the Celtics prevailed. They got the job done. And now we move. And well, we're going to talk about game one, obviously, but we'll be able to look forward for game two with the Celtics now up 1-0 in this series against the Indiana Pacers. Brendan, welcome in.
Nick, I'm happy to be here. This was a big win for the Celtics. It would have been really bad if you lose game one on your home floor. It's been a big issue for all the teams to protect their home court, their home rink, all of it. The Celtics really needed this one, that's for sure. And they ended up playing like it at the end. They went out with a strong start playing their game, but they got really caught up in the track meet that is the Indiana Racers. Oh, I meant Pacers.
That's good. That's very good. That's a good way of describing them.
Indiana 500 for game four, I believe. Game 3 or 4 out there in Indiana. So that'll be a whole shebang. But, yeah, Indy loves to run. They're a track team. They go, they run fast. They do a lot of transition. The Celtics get caught up in it, and then they start turning the ball over. It took till the fourth quarter where Jason Tatum really started to slow the game down, back people in, own his matchups, and put some buckets in the hole for them. Jaylen Brown was the hero of the city. What a shot. A shot heard around the world. That was a crazy one. He was the most clutch player tonight. Defensively and then offensively, magnificent.
This was 14-2 run, basically, the Celtics had to start this game. And it started out like a bang. I think a lot of fans like myself, oh, this is going to be a layup. You know, the Celtics are just going to cruise through this. But the Indiana Pacers just kept gnawing at you time and time again. And even halftime, it was tied. It was tied. Al Horford started out like a bang, first 5 minutes into the game. And then some trouble started to hit. They abused him as the game went on. But it wasn't just for Al Horford. It was the Luke Hornets. It was the Sam Hausers. If I want to identify the biggest weakness on where this game really got out of whack was that end of that third quarter. That was atrocious. The amount of confusion, the amount of turnovers, the amount of sloppy play that we saw. That's when the warning bell went off for me and said, oh boy, the fourth quarter is going to be one of these dogfight kind of games. And then the Pacers took the lead. They took the lead, and it got to the point where there was some questions on if the Celtics were even going to win this game. Jaylen Brown got the ball. Was it 8 seconds left? 6 seconds, something like that.
5.6.
Sure, 5 seconds. We'll go 5.6.
A pump
and makes that clutch shot. And to my surprise, and I don't know if this was to your surprise too, that was one of his first, under 10 seconds left in a game, big 3-point shots that he's ever hit in his career. So I just think that we just got every bit of money's worth out of that $295 billion contract right there to tie this game and to get it to an overtime. And I think that I could probably speak for you when we said going to overtime. We were pretty happy to get to overtime. I was.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they showed
we escaped it.
They showed they were on another level once they hit the overtime mark there. Indiana really started to lose their legs. But yeah, I mean, Holiday forcing the turnover on Halliburton, earning his check. That's his whole job. Take Halliburton out of the game. And then Derek White was a steady pulse for this team. They were panicking. They were in pure panic, forcing really bad shots, forcing play. Jason Tatum turning the ball over, left, right, center. The crazy foul plays. But Derek White, a steady pulse on the team. He does a easy routine drive down to the foul. Has 3 defenders collapse on him. Dish it back to JT on the wide open key. He's going to hit that shot every time. just going back to basics, slowing it down instead of getting caught in the madness, because Indiana wants to run. They want it to be chaotic. Lee Smith is tackling people everywhere. They just want craziness. And this Derek White kept this team locked in on making the right plays. But you were right talking about Al Horford. They abused him in the.
I give him all the credit. I mean, they need Al Horford to log big minutes here in this series if you are without Kristaps Porzingis. With Porzingis, yeah, I'll probably say this could be 4 games and done. But right now, after what I just saw from this Pacers team, I know we talked off camera and everything via text and everything. Brendan was calling for the 4-game sweep here. That's going to be a tough battle here. The Celtics has so many ups and downs and roller coaster moments that they have in these games. I think we're fortunate for Boston fans right now that we're actually moving forward with this victory here tonight. To my surprise, clutch players, clutch moments, you stepped up and you rised into the occasion. We're not used to really seeing that consistently with this group. That has been the Achilles heel for this team, is when the lights are brightest, they sometimes crumble like a cookie. And I don't mean to have any pun intended to crumble cookie, because they're very good and delicious. I am talking about a team that falls off a cliff when the going gets tough. You saw them go through adversity here tonight through your own eyes. You saw this. You saw this team build the momentum to get to an overtime and to get those big buckets. Jason Tatum with the huge 3 was your dagger tonight. That was clutch. We have to see that more. Tonight, the bright light shined on Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday. You guys showed up. Your big guys were there, delivered, and you got everything that you wanted from them.
No, definitely, Nick. I think going into game 2, the big adjustments they need to address is the drop coverage on a pick and roll, because the Indiana Pacers are making their mid-rangers that the Celtics weren't really expecting. It's a low percentage shot, but Halliburton's hitting that elbow, Pascal's hitting that elbow, and then that other pesky kid they have that hit the dagger to take the New York Knicks game.
McConnell?
But, they're hitting the jump shot on the pick and pop, and it's tough because you don't want to give up the easy 2 with Miles Turner, of course, but they need to see the action early, have a guy like Jaylen Brown who's not going to get beat, and he's going to contest the shot a lot better than Horford. Nothing on Horford, but they got to keep him away from the action on the defense. They did a great job on defense, holding the Indiana Pacers, who's just a scoring team. They don't do anything else but score. They held them to under 100 for most of the game. They did a good job, but they need to do better. It was a good game. Adjustments need to be made. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, one of the bigger thing that stood out to me was 54% from the field. That's what the Pacers shot tonight. That is something the Celtics have got to figure out. They absolutely do. They had their time where there was some great defensive plays and stuff, but that number right there over a long haul of a series can be a little bit scary there. So they got to definitely clean up the act. The turnovers, definitely for the Pacers. I was surprised at how much the Celtics were able to force, out of them. Usually the Celtics are the team that have the most turnovers. On that end tonight, actually looked poised, focused, and actually ready to rock and roll on that front. So I was happy on that side of things too. Drew Holiday. That tonight was the most points that he scored in his Celtics season and everything. Tonight he had 28 points. I'm just going to read your numbers here. He played 48 minutes tonight, over 48 minutes. Actually, 48-19 was his numbers. He was 10 for 16 from field goal minutes. He was shooting 62.5%, 4 for 8 from the 3-point range. He had 28 points on the night. He finished on a +7 tonight. That was your guy tonight. For me, that's my spotlight player of the night. That is a player that you're seeing who struggled a little bit in that Miami series to start this playoff run. And I think the more that we've seen, definitely in the last couple games against Cleveland and everything, I'm starting to see a guy who's a winner, a guy that I want out there on the court. I want to see with the ball because he can get it done in the big moments. He's been there, done that. He's a championship winner. That is why he was brought here. Let's make sure we focus on that point. That was why Holiday was here. He's like the glue, the guy that's been there, done that, that can help this team get over the hump and win a championship. If this ends up happening, we need to make sure that we credit Holiday here for how much he's brought to this team. One of the more underrated players on this roster.
Nick, I got to agree. What a performance at a Holiday. He's going to have a bigger and bigger role in this series. What he can do to guards, him and Derek White, they are like piranhas eating the guards up defensively. But what he really brings offensively is what got showcased. He's going to bully guards. He's got a very strong lower half. He bully balls, plays like a center, but he's a one. He's pounding through on the block. He's going to slow down the game, which is what I was talking about when Jason Tatum finally started to get that going, when they realized we can't do this track meet. It's just chaos, and that's how Indy's going to win. If we slow the game down, a guy like Drew Holiday, give him the rock on the post against another guard, he's going to own the matchup. He's going to get the easy lay-in every time. That's a great take. I got to give it to Jaylen Brown. The He's a hero, the hero of the city tonight. That was
to get it to overtime. I can absolutely tip my cap to him.
Too many times have I seen this team crap their pants in a situation like that. But this wasn't a forced shot at all. He got open, he pump fakes, and he gets a high rising right over Pascal Siakam. Beautiful shot. But it wasn't just that. It's what he brought defensively as well. His presence in the paint. Jaylen Brown was terrific tonight. He is taking a leadership role, and I love to see it.
Who's in the doghouse?
I got to look at Horford.
Okay.
I think I know he's putting in a lot of hustle. You know, it's nothing against the hustle. You know, he made a lot of diving plays. I could tell he's frustrated. It's not even on him. It's on the defensive scheme, but he got destroyed in the pick and pop, in the pick and roll defense. And then he missed a lot of wide open 3-pointers, which was pretty brutal. And I know he's getting to an advanced age, so I don't want to give him too much flack. I think Horford's a great player, but we just need to toe the line with him. Once Porzingis is back, everything will lock. He'll be right in his right spot. He'll be fresh.
I'm probably looking for Porzingis game 3-4. That's what my gut is telling me right now. So the Celtics are going to need to get through another game 2 without, and then I think some reinforcement will come with Kristaps Porzingis coming back. I'm not going on Al Horford because at least I saw some life to Al Horford here tonight. He had some good plays out there. It wasn't pretty. It was good enough. Didn't end up losing you the game. The one that I have to absolutely rag on here badly to the point where I don't even think he deserves any more playoff minutes anymore is Sam Hauser. That was atrocious at the end of the third quarter. I don't mean to beat a dead horse here with it because I've already talked about it before. But if the Celtics lost this game tonight, you would have had to go back at that end of the third quarter when Hauser was in with Cornette and Al Horford, and all the bench was just in. And the Indiana Pacers went on like an 8-point run, something like that, to end the quarter. It was awful. And I was screaming from my couch, get these guys out of here. I know why that Tatum and Brown and the starters for the most part were out because they wanted to get them back into the fourth quarter. I totally get that. But you got to balance that a little bit better because Indiana is going to eat Sam Hauser alive. He's a one-trick pony. When he's on, you know when he's on because he's going to make his points. But that tonight, I don't want to see any more of that if that's what you're going to get. That was just atrocious. He didn't even finish with any baskets tonight. Awful. Doghouse. Key is locked. You're not coming out.
That's a good one. I'm glad Pat wasn't here for it. That's his favorite player. So,
Well, I can crush his hopes and dreams another night.
Hopefully he's not watching this one. Maybe that's why he didn't join this one.
It's probably why. It
Yeah.
probably is. So I'm glad he stayed far, far away from me.
This was a
Game
battle.
two will be for Thursday. Obviously, this was a big win here for the Celtics. They're gonna have to clean up their act here a little bit and hopefully get another victory before they head to Indiana for the weekend for Game 3. Before we wrap here, we did not get a chance to cover obviously the Bruins. I was too depressed and mad and all that jazz. I think all of us were.
Yes.
So we didn't cover it. But at the end of the day, for the Bruins, they did, at least for me, exceed expectations. Coming into the season, you had the loss of Bergeron, no more Krejci, issue with players that you really just couldn't sign long term. You let a lot of players go. You let your Taylor Halls walk, your Tyler Bertuzzis, and you are in cap jail, which means you did not have a lot of money to spend to fix your roster. And the Bruins ended up getting as far as they could. Could it have been better? Sure. Am I disappointed? Of course I am, because I can't stand it when teams get to a certain level, they suck you in and they make you all happy, and then they lose and they do the whole thing. I would say right now, the Celtics have the upper hand on the Bruins. I know it's been a little bit more of a championship drought, 3 years. 2008 was the last of the Celtics. The Bruins were 2011. But I feel like the Bruins are always in a position where it's the same story, different year. We just can never get over the hump. So what happens next year? There should be no excuses for next season in my eyes. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to just roll out another bridge after one. Like, this was the bridge.
I'm tired of it.
You know, I would say I understand them in a rebuilding scenario of cap jail. You got $5 million trapped on your bench as well. And you got out of the first round barely, and you play a Florida Panthers team that was more talented. I'm not going to take off too much of the blame, though. I think David Pastrnak really could have performed a lot better. And
absolutely, you hit it right on the nose.
I think he could have forced a Game 7. I don't understand the panic. It's really tough. Brad Marchand, you want more out of him too. I know he's playing a little injured, but this was David Pasternak's opportunity. He got it done in the first round, but couldn't do it here against Bobrovsky. McAvoy as well. He had one good game in the playoffs. They got to figure that out. The goalie situation, that's bad. That needs to get fixed. Someone's got.
What do you mean bad by that? Because they have two guys, and you can only really use one. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a top line center. I didn't want a $5 million goalie sitting on my bench during the playoffs. You know, I think Jeremy Swayman proved that he earned the role. He had the job. I know they're afraid if he gets hurt, what's the backup plan? But I mean, if that happens, that happens, you know, but you're not going to pray for or expect the worst. You know, Brandon Bussey, he'll play through the regular season. Jeremy Swayman, he'll take the bulk of the starts. And then in the playoffs, it's his gig.
You want to hear something interesting that I can fully admit to you right now on if I was the head coach and what I would have done?
Let me hear that.
I would have kept the goalie rotation alive. I can fully tell you that right now. I actually got two admissions right now. Number one, I would have kept the goalie rotation alive because that's what got you in the first place, and you already know what happened last season. You lost when you continued to put Allmark out there. 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. I don't care. Just put it out there. I don't care if other teams have done it from before or haven't done it from before. You have a special 1-2 pair that if they got you to that place, why break that pattern? And I'm a Swayman guy. I like Swayman a little bit more than I do Allmark. That's just my style. But stay true to your roots. And the Bruins broke off that track this playoff run. When Allmark lost, they said, basically, we're blaming you for that loss in Game 2 against the Maple Leafs. And we really never even saw Allmark again. So that's number one. Number two, and this is the big one. I'm shocked the Bruins made it through Game 7 against Toronto.
Yeah.
If you fully want me to say it, I will. I'm stunned. I don't know how they got through that, because to me, I don't think the Bruins really deserved to get to the next round against Florida. Hate me for all you want from just admitting that take, but that's how I feel. I'm allowed to feel that way.
I mean, the one person that keeps escaping I got to get, before I say that, I got to give them credit. The Pat Maroon thing, I liked it. I think they should look into maybe keeping him around, to try and keep him healthy.
He's slow.
Toughness. They're a soft team. They're very soft. And the leader of the softness, as much as you want to say it's David Pastrnak, he got his ass kicked for the team. It's Pavel Zacha. This guy, I haven't seen any performance out of him.
Pavel Marshmallow.
He is invisible. And I know Charlie Coyle's got a little bit of grit. You know, I can see him maybe being a third or second line center. But Pavel Zacha, what is this guy? What are you supposed to bring? I lost my head with him. I expected so much more.
Your top three kind of consistent guys you had throughout the playoffs. Obviously, Swayman was one. Brandon Carlo on defense, I'm giving that to him. He was your best defenseman on the Bruins throughout the playoff. My surprise one is Jake DeBrusk.
Yeah, he had
and there's a guy that's got a contract upcoming, and you got to make a decision on. Yeah. But we'll talk more about the Bruins, because the Celtics are, that's primary number one. But we'll talk more about what they do in the offseason and stuff here, because it's going to be a long one, and they got a lot to figure out. Now, usually you and I break down all these Red Sox games. So a lot of fans are probably like, what the heck? What, they don't like the Red Sox? It's not that I don't like the Red Sox. It's that I can't stand the makeup of this team right now. I just can't. It's very difficult to root for this team. We did whatever we did for as long as we did. And you know what? Sometimes it was very painful to sit there and to watch and to follow sometimes. I don't know about you, but I feel like I'm in like retirement mode in a way, where I watch it when I want to now. And if I don't want to watch it, it brings me joy, because I just don't like this roster. I don't like this team. I don't like the direction that they're heading. I don't. It's very hard. When you grew up with the Nomars and the Pedros and the Manny Ramirez, the David Ortiz, the Kurt Schillings, the John Lesters, the Mookie Betts, the JD Martinezes of the world, even Xander Bogaerts, Dustin Pedroia, Mike Lowell.
Yep.
What the hell am I watching? What do we got?
No, I can definitely.
I struggle. I struggle with it. I'm going to watch Rafi Devers be one of the most undisciplined baseball players I probably ever watched in my life. No. Yeah.
I mean, they had always been trotting out big star-studded lineups, and when they were pumping rookies through the pipeline, they had tons of protection. There wasn't as much pressure. There was big stars around them. Right now, a guy like Tristan Cassis, who's one of the big selling points, he's been out. He's going to be out for a long time. They don't have much there. Jarren Duran it's just people trying to scrape things together. Cooper Criswell, he had a pretty good game, I guess. It's one of those guys. We'll see.
Who?
Yeah, I mean,
that's if you go around anywhere, any neighborhood, and you go and ask anybody, name me 10 players on the Red Sox, 5 players, 3 players, they're going to struggle. They're going to struggle. That is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And it's sad to say it, because I love baseball, and I've been a baseball guy all my life. But when you throw a product out there and you tell your fans from an ownership group that this is what you got, go and watch this team. No, I draw the line.
You know what really stuck the needle in was Garrett Whitlock going down.
Oh, it's a joke.
It's how do we not? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting.
That's what it is.
So
I'm taking the insanity away out of it.
And we did it last year. We did it the year before, and we're going to try again this year. and it happens every single. And Garrett is a good kid. He's a good, tough kid.
They got a lot of good guys, good people
starter.
on there.
Got a talented arm, but he is not a starter. And it's nothing against.
I don't like always saying, because sometimes when we speak, I've heard some people say, "Oh, Nick, you're a know-it-all. You know everything. Why don't you go be the manager? Why don't you go be the GM from that?" Sure. Sign me up. Because I would at least be a competent, transparent GM. I loved Dave Dombrowski when he was the GM for the Red Sox. I don't know about you. I loved his style. I loved his approach. He was transparent with the media. He told you, I'm going to go get a starter. Okay, I'm going to go get him. I need a closer. Okay, I'm going to go get him. I need this bullpen arm. Going to get it. I think part of what's broken that trust for a lot of fans is that we have been through the ringer with expectations of, oh, don't worry, we're going to do whatever we can to keep Mookie. Don't worry, John Lester is somebody that we really believe in. We're going to keep him here. Don't you worry, we're going to give Xander a good contract. He's going to be here. Well, I don't like being lied to.
Every single time.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So
they're a non-story. They're a non-story. The Red Sox.
Yeah, they won tonight, and we're still talking about this BS.
Yeah, the Red Sox, they have not been an interesting story at all. I mean, they won. Good for them. But talk to me when you're serious, really. The
Red Sox, if you really want to be serious, if you really want us to follow you, we'll change your color back to red once you get into the standings. If you notice down below, we have the green colors right now, and that's going to go for the Patriots and the Bruins too. We go with what we call it as we see, and we're on level green right now. Any final words? This was one of our longer ones, but we had a lot to cover. So basically, it's like our half-hour television show.
Yeah, I mean, we got a good one in tonight.
We did.
Thank you all for watching, supporting. Go Celtics, game 2, Thursday night. Got to take the series by chokehold, make the adjustments, and
make it happen.
Don't run with the Pacers. Play your game. Thank you.
That'll do it for Brendan and I here for this evening. Once again, the Celtics take game 1 in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Indiana Pacers, and with a thrilling overtime win, 133-128. We will see you again for Thursday evening. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.